Hey, it's me. This video is gonna be way more serious because, personally, my favorite anime, My Hero Academia, has finally came to a official ending. I know they are most likely gonna be making a second part of it, but we don't know if that's really gonna happen one day. So, for the celebration of the final season, I'm gonna talk about my journey with the anime and everything else about it. It started when I first found the anime on, I think it was YouTube or Hulu. At first I was like, this anime is super weird because of this fandom, but it's way more better if you ignore the fandom. Basically, the story is about this quirkless kid named Izuku Midoriya, which his childhood bully Bakugo started calling him Deku, so I'm gonna be calling him Deku. Deku was born quirkless, and basically quirks are the superpower of the MHA world, where 80% of the world has a quirk and 20% doesn't, and I mean Deku, was one of the unlucky ones. You know, instead of me saying Deku, I'm gonna be calling him Izuku. So, yeah. Basically, he started off quirkless, but with an encounter against this villain named the Sludge villain, I know that's a weird name. But this kid almost actually dies to him, but thanks to All Might, basically the number one hero of the MHA world in Japan, he saves him, and Deku asks, can a quirkless kid become a hero? All Might says no. So that completely destroyed Izuku's heart, and then later he runs into the Sludge villain again because he realized the bottle that All Might used to capture the Sludge villain fell out of his pocket while carrying Izuku. At first he thought of ignoring it, but he heard that there was a kid stuck, captured in the Sludge villain, and then when Izuku takes a closer look, he realizes it's his bully, Katsuki Bakugo, which I'm gonna be calling him Bakugo. Um, and then without hesitation, this man just runs into the fight without a care in the world. He tried to save Bakugo, but he was failing, but All Might showed up and defeated the Sludge villain, and then later, All Might finds Deku again, and All Might remembered the question that Izuku, asked him, and he says, you can also become a hero, and that starts the journey of Izuku's hero life. Um, and then he starts training for I think it was 6 months. Yeah, 6 months, and then All Might gives him a piece of his hair because one for All Might's quirk transfers through Dade cells. So Izuku eats the hair. He gains one for all. At the beginning, it starts hurting him, but further on, when he unlocks full cowl, he's able to control it way more. And then far later into the series, after he unlocks this quirk named Black Whip from a past One for All user, he runs into Shigaraki and um uh, for a couple of times, and this is after All Might's retirement because he got an injury from a past fight against the main villain All For One. So it's now Izuku's turn, and then far later he unlocks float, where it's basically just flight in danger sense, which is like spider sense against Shigaraki, and then a bit after it he realizes, wait, All For One and Shigaraki are after me. I gotta escape UA and to protect everyone. So he goes on this entire vigilante arc, which was super cool, and he runs into a ton of characters. For example, the one I'm using in the game is Lady Nagan, to I think, anti-hero. Yeah, wait, no, she's an assassin. Sorry. She ends up helping in the final war, but we'll get to that later. Izuku runs into Class 1A, which is the class that he's in at UA Academy, which is basically a school you need to take to become a hero. And after an entire fight and everyone talking to him about you can come back, he ends up returning to UA, and after a big argument against these civilians, he finally becomes a student again at the school. Basically, oh yeah, and then later on, after he fully recovers, it's the final war, so it starts off with them fending off All For One, but they all get separated, so, Bakugo faces Shigaraki, and Endeavor, Hawks, and a ton of other people face off against All For One. But the main problem is that Shigaraki's way too powerful for them. So, they all have trouble against All For One and Shigaraki, and then later on in the fight, Deku arrives, but when he says that he made it, he sees Bakugo dead on the ground, not getting up. He goes into a rage, but Mirio Togata, one of the big three at UA, actually reassures him, saying that they're working on reviving Bakugo. And after all of that, it's now the final season, which this is gonna have a insane amount of spoilers. So it starts off with Deku fighting Shigaraki, and then and a quirkless All Might with a armored outfit fights All For One, who ends up getting younger because of a incomplete quirk that's called a rewind from this girl named Aerie, where he didn't steal it, he just copied the quirk. It's hard to explain how he does that, but basically All For One defeats All Might, and he's about to freaking rip this man in half, and then Deku's like, someone please save him, and then in the background there's an explosion, and then Bakugo steps out of the rubble, fully back alive, and then it's truly the final battle. So Bakugo faces All For One. He's able to kill All For One, and then next is Deku and Shigaraki, where Deku ends up getting into Shigaraki's memory to save the kid. Tenko Shimura, which is who Shigaraki used to be before all of the Valen stuff happened with him. But they end up failing, and All For One takes control of Shigaraki's body. My bad, not battle. And then, crap, what happened next? Deku ends up losing his arms, but thanks to this horn that Eri has on her head that she broke off and gave to the teacher Shota Aizawa, he ends up getting his arms back, and then it's truly the final battle. So it starts off with them bringing Deku to All For One, and then far later he's able to kill All For One, but it ends up with him almost losing all of One For All. So he uses the remaining embers of One For All, since he transferred almost every ounce of All For One to All For One. He's able to pass UA. He actually becomes a teacher at UA as an adult, while everyone else is heroes. But later on, All Might announces that Mei Hasume from the support class and Melissa Shields made him an armored outfit to help in his hero work. And then he finally returns as a hero, starring the final team up of Class 1A. So they go on missions, and Deku and Ochako, his love interest, confess their feelings to each other, and then it's the second generation's turn. So that's basically about, a below 20-minute summary of all of My Hero Academia. I really love the anime, and you're able to watch it on Hulu and Crunchyroll, of course. So I completely recommend watching the anime if you love anime, since it's actually super entertaining. So that's it for me. Sorry it's been a while for a new video. I have had zero ideas of a new video until MHA's ending. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Maybe until next time. I have no clue.